Welcome to my channel. I'm Tanya Ray, and today I'm going to do a reading on the Spring Equinox. Today is technically the start of spring as I'm doing this reading. I'm using the Transparent Tarot, as you can see. The Transparent Tarot is really a cool and unique deck because it tells a deeper story in my mind because, as you can see, I can stack the cards on top of each other in any way that makes sense for the reading. And the reason that I bring this up is because I know that sometimes people watch collective readings and pick a card readings to learn how to read tarot. And for the most part, I do read sort of by the book, meaning the traditional definitions for specifically the Rider-Waite-Smith tarot. However, when I use this deck, I might go a little bit off the cuff and read what I'm seeing in the imagery because it just tells such a unique story. And with that, I also want to put out the usual disclaimer of never make something fit that is not for you. What I do suggest when you listen to these readings is pay attention to what comes up for you. The beauty is more in being able to see how it resonates for you because it's going to resonate in different ways for each person that listens to it, quite honestly. That said, I did set the intention that these messages will be received by the people that they are meant for. And without further ado, I'm going to get started on the reading. The first question I asked is just the general, what might we expect during this spring season? And we're starting out with the King of Cups. I love this because we're starting out with the water element, emotions, and I think of water when I think of spring because of, April showers and all of that sort of thing. A lot of us are in a rainy season so that things can grow in the springtime, or we're watering our gardens and all of those things. The King of Cups is about being able to see things from a more emotionally grounded and mature way. So I feel like for a lot of us, we've been experiencing a lot of tension, a lot of not being able to communicate properly with each other, and all of the things in winter or the first quarter of the year. And spring is really urging us to get out of that, because the more that we bottle things up or act only in anger and fear is usually what's driving that, versus digging a little bit deeper, the more that we're going to stay stuck, we're going to stay miserable, and all of those fun things that no one really wants to experience. It's also giving this energy of being able to connect back in with empathy a little bit more. And in doing that, and I know some of you, probably many of you listening to this are already empaths, and this might make you cringe to think I'm going to be more empathetic, but this is more to the people that might have felt a little bit of disconnect because of all of the fear and the anger and just energies and what have you. It doesn't really matter why. But if you felt a little bit disconnected from empathy or love and compassion, those types of energies, spring is urging you to get back in connection with that. Because that disconnect is causing a whole myriad of issues, and one of those issues could be disconnect from your inner knowing as well. And it can lead to other issues, like I already mentioned. I don't want to get deep into that because I'm not about causing fear in anyone, but the whole point is that the King of Cups is here to tell us that it's time to really get curious again about our emotions and how we're responding to ourselves and others, and can we look at things in a way that is a little bit more loving and compassionate towards each other. One last thing about the King is the more that you lead with fairness and emotional maturity, the more likely you are going to teach other people how to do it as well. without having, set that intention, like this is what I'm set out to do. It's that modeling behavior that is likely going to spread across the people that are in your circle, etc. And the Five of Cups here is solidifying pretty much everything I've already said, because the Five of Cups often represents sort of being stuck in that energy of dwelling on things that have happened in the past and maybe having shame over failures or things like that, rather than, or guilt type energy, versus looking at, okay, this thing happened or I did this thing, I'm not proud of it, and how can I grow from it? It's that nod to, we've been looking at the cups that are spilled over and we can't even see that there are still cups upright. And in this particular deck, as you can see, there's actually 3 cups upright. So things are actually more likely to go in our favor than not. It's just that we're focused on the 2 that are spilled over. You can look at that as the past, or you can look at that as emotions that you're holding on to but not allowing yourself to process certain situations in your life, etc. That it's time to let that go. Stop crying over spilled milk, so to speak, and just turn your head a little bit and you'll see that there are 3 cups upright, and those 3 cups represent new opportunities. They represent new things, new ways of looking at things. So there is a huge growth opportunity within the springtime to really get connected with your emotions and be able to communicate with others, as well as respond to yourself in such a more mature and effective way. The Emperor in this deck is represented by that beautiful city. The Emperor is often about control and leadership and being very balanced and structured in the way that you do things. So here, what the cards are saying is that it's important to take a balanced approach to connecting more to both your intuition and your emotions, as well as once you have felt strong in that, you can move forward with communicating better and connecting better with your people. I think this is a really interesting visual that we have here, because you can see the king in the background, and then, like I said, this is a city, or you can look at it as a kingdom in the front. And what's holding you back from being connected to the people in this city, in your kingdom or queendom? And the only thing that's preventing that is not being connected to your emotions, holding on to things that maybe you regret, or things that you feel other people have done you wrong with, etc., etc., etc. And I'm not saying that you have to forgive and forget or anything like that. I'm just saying that this is a time to really evaluate what you're putting your time and energy to, and is it actually serving a bigger purpose, or are you just allowing yourself to be stuck in this spiral of feeling off and turning your back on opportunities? Because again, the other part of the 5 of Cups is there are other opportunities, there are other paths that you can follow, other ways that you can feel, and other ways that you can interact with the world, your community, etc. But it's important to be willing to see them. And when you close yourself off because you're emotionally closed off, you're not going to be able to. Or when you are stuck in feeling sorry for yourself, or regretting something that you've done, or all of those things. Today is a new day, and today is also representing a new time in our lives. So how do you want to move forward? That's the bigger message here. I know, this is always the message, right? But how do you want to move forward into spring? What do you want to create that will bloom in summer? I just realized I misspoke. I wouldn't say that the emperor himself is about balance. The message is balance. I would say that often we look at the emperor as a bit more of a authority figure and can be authoritative. However, in this case, in this message as a whole, when we bring it together, it's about being balanced in taking action as well as being able to understand why you're taking that action, having that wisdom. Both the Emperor and the King of Cups are wise. The King of Cups is more wise when it comes to emotional balance and things of an emotional nature, like we've been talking about, whereas the Emperor is a gatherer of knowledge. So this is a time of, number one, looking at where you are experiencing possibly an imbalance in your emotions, or where you would like to grow in that regard of connecting with yourself and or others, as well as what are you trying to grow? Like I said before, what are you trying to grow in this season? What do you want to come out of spring and into summer looking at? Like, what story do you want to be telling? With that said, I hope this reading blesses you. Let me know if it resonates and or what resonates. And what are you going to be working on in this season? Keep in mind, we talk about spring cleaning, and it sounds like the spring cleaning might be more about beliefs and the things that we're holding on to versus in our mind, that is, versus actual physical things. However, I invite you to go ahead and do spring cleaning too if you feel called to. And remember that there are opportunities available to you. There is a large message here of growth and opportunity to move forward, but you have to be able to choose it. You have to be open to it, or you're never going to see it. You're never going to receive it. Again, I hope this blesses you. Have an amazing day and an amazing spring, and I'll see you soon. And please, as always, like, share, and subscribe if you enjoyed this message.